Hey, how's it going, guys? So this is Lord Lavenier. This is Lumiere PO. We're back, and today I'm just gonna review one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite franchises, actually. That's a better term. Cruel Intentions. So I'm gonna do Cruel Intentions 2. I'm just gonna break it down and give my thoughts on the film. I actually really enjoyed it, unlike the critics, because for them, like they didn't like it for some reason. But who cares? Like most of them are biased, and most of them like give high ratings to content that's not good. So people don't believe them anymore, especially in Rotten Tomatoes. And I hope my reviews have it more sincere. And anyway, let's get at it. I'm just gonna read it. And today, the title is Seduce and Destroy. Cruel Intentions 2, the review. So I'm just gonna read it and then break it down. Cruel Intentions 2 is a prequel to the original. The same director, Roger Campbell, comes back. However, new stars, Robin June and Amy Adams, take over as the new stars. The story is about how Sebastian Balmont met Catherine Myrtle at Manchester Prep. It is an elite school located on the outskirts of New York City. I like it better than the original. I feel the original was a bit more flashy, more moralistic, and had an unsatisfying ending. Meanwhile, I feel the sequel improves on all the aspects that I found unsatisfying. Robin Dunne plays a more down-to-earth Sebastian. It didn't feel like they were hammering you with the morality, unlike the first one. Also, the ending was a twist and satisfying I did not expect it. Classy. There is more I'll break it down. So yeah, like they have the new actors for this one. This one's like a straight to DVD, but I don't feel it's a quality change like that much, like a quality drop at all. Actually, I felt that for the film it was a bit flashy, like especially like the main guy who plays Sebastian, like he did it felt like a bit over the top. Here like Robin does it more down to earth. Like I really like his approach to Sebastian, and yeah, it also felt a bit more realistic. Like the end, Reese Witherspoon, like she just like I don't want to spoil, but I mean, have you guys seen this movie from the 90s? But like the idea is that I feel like she ended on a moralistic tone. Still, like I really like the film. I'll give it an 8. Like you know what I mean, like that first film. But I felt like the sequel improved on a lot of elements that were missing, and I feel like it was a little bit like too like a moralistic type of ending. Well, here it's like not. And anyway, and yeah, the ending of this film is amazing. Like I don't want to spoil it to you guys, but I was shocked. You know, like I felt this is the ending that you wanted if you wanted to do a complete franchise. If you wanted to do like a trilogy of films, like the first film should have been the last film. This film should have been the first film. And there should have been a sequel where you explore more. Like honestly, like you can just make at least 10 films like this. With like just a rivalry between Sebastian and Catherine is just amazing. It's really well done. And this is also based on the Liations dangereux. It's like a French novel, so I might review there's a French film from the 60s, but anyway, let's continue. So, classy. This is more a reflection of the Cruel Intentions franchise. I like the setting of Manchester Preps, the uniform are elegant. Also, I like the non-school clothes for the characters. For instance, Sebastian wears a cool black leather jacket with a black t-shirt, while Catherine gets a wears more preppy style with a white shirt and gray cardigan. So, again, guys, like I just really like these films. People ask me, "Hey, man, why don't you watch the new stuff, like the Netflix stuff?" You know, I tell them like I honestly don't like it. Like it doesn't appeal to me. Like it doesn't resonate to me. None of it makes sense to me. You know, like it just I don't like it. Well, here in Cruel Intentions, you're seeing beautiful uniforms from most of the characters. They're so well dressed, and this is Danielle in her uniform, and it's just like it draws you in, like the characters. There's also literary references like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There's a lot of like books. There's like a Kama Sutra book. It feels more educated. You know what I mean, guys? Like, well, the Netflix shows, like, it just feels like ignorant. Like, not all Netflix shows. Cause honestly, I don't even use Netflix. Like, I could bash them if I wanted, but I don't want to. But anyway, like, I just feel like the modern shows. I'm just gonna say it like that. Like, there's no draw. So also that leather jacket. Like, my favorite piece was like black T-shirt and leather jacket that Sebastian wears when he's going to meet his father later. So anyway, let's continue. Sexy. So there are a lot of sexy scenes in the film. One of them is Catherine seducing her teachers. She uses her seductive power to make her teachers give her slips to skip gym and dance class. Another sexy scene is when a hot girl get into the shower and tease Sebastian. It was very hot seeing their breasts. Finally, another sexy scene is when Tiffany, this is Catherine's mom, gives a massage to her stepson Sebastian. So a lot of guys and a lot of people like might find this contradictory. Like, why do I find this sexiness cool, but the one, like the modern one, like the progressive one, I won't want to say degenerate because that's the term people use, but I don't know. I just found it tacky. I guess that's a word. If you push me, that's what I'm gonna say. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just like I feel like in the modern shows, there's only sexiness if there's like an element of an extra element added. It's just not sexiness for sexiness sake. There's also this other element where it's like you see like an ugly girl with her tears. Like that's really popular nowadays. I find it like horrific, like disgusting, I guess. Disgusting. But this is what's popular, and most movies I see that are not French, I guess, like there's also this idea that like it's always sexiness, but there's also this other element that everybody has to be into drugs, or everybody has to be really violent. Like you don't have this like sexiness as a discrete entity. While here in like the Liations, like you do see it. So I really enjoyed it, and also there's like also the element. I'll talk about it later, but like the mix of sexiness with like narcissism and like being able to like seduce others. Like it's very interesting. But anyway, like I thought all the scenes were hot. I like it because in contrast to the Puritan stuff, like I mean like the social justice stuff, like here you see all the sexy girls, like a more traditional culture. You see that attractive girls. You don't see like some guy, like getting naked or stuff. You see like the hot girls like doing fun stuff. So I appreciate it. Amoral. So this is like something that's really, really enjoyable. And give me 1 minute, guys. One reason that makes a franchise stand out is that it's not afraid to be immoral. Some critics like Richard Schitkel, I'm just gonna say Schitkel, have commented a cool portrayal of utter immorality. I agree with his statement, since I feel that the whole cast participates in this immorality. For instance, I enjoy how Sebastian's dad, Edward Bolliant, has a mistress. He confesses a man has needs. We see that he's only dating Tiffany's mom. He's only dating Tiffany for her money. Seeing Sebastian's dad, who in a different kind of film would be a bastion of crudeness and morality, is refreshing. A far cry from the moralistic social justice Puritans of today. So it's the idea that like I feel like the whole, and this was influenced by the French, before the French Revolution. Like I feel like we see a lot of decadence from the high society. So I really like this concept that people were like amoral. It's not just Sebastian and Catherine playing their amoral games. It's also the dad. It's also the mistress. It's also even Daniela at a point. So there, it's just everyone is in it. It's just it's fascinating. It's not just, oh, this is that weird immoral character. And honestly, like, it's interesting because I thought about Death Note. Like, for all my Death Note fans there, like, it seems Light is the only immoral guy. Well, here everybody's immoral. but still, it's just interesting to like explore that amorality, which I don't see it now. Like nowadays, like most shows, like they're like they don't have this depth. Anyway, so Seduce and Destroy, and this is, I feel like, the motto of the franchise. There's no, and I'll add this, 'cause, yeah, there's sexiness, but there's also like intelligence, you know. Some people, like in other cultures, like this idea that, and this is not non-English speaking cultures, not French, so people don't say, oh, he's always like bashing this and that. Like, it's more like, I feel like in some countries, like in the third world and stuff, like, oh, people are gonna misquote me and stuff, but like people are obsessed with just sex for sex sake. You know, well, here I feel like there's like an extra layer to it. There's no sex for sex sake. Rather, sex is weaponized to further exploit one's goals. We see that in Catherine is the best at this tactic, as she seduces her teacher, Steve Mueller. Catherine tells him, Steve, we need to talk. Catherine, then she proceeds to convince him to write her a note to skip gym class. She said, it isn't against the rules for someone like you to seduce me, while Steve countered it and says, it was you who seduced me. Catherine said, you're right, but who will the high school board believe? Catherine has the upper hand, and she uses he uses it to her advantage to like trap her teacher, as well as others around it. So we see like Catherine, like she's like incredible character, like a great female character, unlike the modern female characters, you know, like she's everything they're not. But anyway, like she's able to like exploit like the system or exploit her teachers, but through using seduction as a weapon. And I think the concept of femme fatale, it's similar, and I think like she might be a precursor to that trope. But I really like this idea of her being able to like exploit others, and like Sebastian as well, like he does this too. But it's just a motto of the franchise. It's like seduce and destroy. Manchester and Newell now, and this is something that was underexplored. So it's a group of elite students who together decide who to reward and who to punish. As Catherine writes, I promise to weed out the geeks, losers, and underprivileged. I like these concepts to show how power is centralized within the tribunal. We see this when Catherine decides to punish Sheriff for messing up Catherine's hair, as well as having more money than her. As Catherine writes, or says, when I get through with her, she'll be the premier slut at Manchester Prep. The Manchester Tribunal has also other functions. For instance, Catherine uses it to get more information on Sebastian. She says, stay on him and see what you can find out. I felt that Tribunal was underutilized in the first movie, since it seemed like a loose collection of individuals helping out Catherine, while here we see it's organized. It's a secret society. So I really like the Manchester Tribunal, guys, and I'll explore this in more depth, but I see we're running out of time, so let's finish it. So, critique. Amy Adams plays Catherine a bit too mean and less sexy, while I felt that Michelle Gellar made the character sexier and more of a tease. She was constantly, for instance, opening her nightgown and teasing Sebastian with it. Like, I felt Amy, like, her approach was like making the character really mean, while I felt Michelle, like, her portrayal was more balanced. Like, we see her being sexier, but also I felt it was three-layered, like sexier, also a bit more vulnerable, and mean. I felt like with Amy, like she focused on the mean side a lot more. So, and it made her like Catherine just a straight-up villain. Well, in the first film, like she was more of a like, I guess like mean, like more like an ambivalent character. Anyway, guys, so reflection. Would I recommend the films over all the Netflix series? Absolutely. The modern Netflix series comes from the female gaze. You see male nudity, unattractive women, and a social justice message, while Cruel Intentions give us humanity at its rawness and perhaps most sincere. So I'm happy with how the last sentence went, but like I feel Netflix is like a big company. It's a lot of propaganda, guys. Like it's not a reflection of human nature. So that's why like I would skip it, and I would definitely watch Cruel Intentions 2. Don't listen to the critics. This movie is great. The source material en français is très bien. And anyway, guys, so this has been Lord Lavenir. This is a Lumiere PL. I'll be reviewing more movies. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.